It's Thursday, September 11th. Here's what we're working on this morning.
I'm Simone Gavros here at Hamilton City Hall. The 2026 budget process is beginning today, and residents could see yet another tax increase.
A toddler is dead and 6 other children are injured after a vehicle crashed into a daycare in Richmond Hill.
That ball's drilled high and deep to left field. Yiner Diaz gives the Astros a 3-2 lead in the ninth.
And the Toronto Blue Jays rallied in the 8th inning but fell short. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. When I walked out this morning, it didn't feel as misty, and so I'm guessing, Steve, we're not going to get that fog that we got yesterday morning.
Well, I haven't had any reports just up around the Barrie area, a couple of small reports, but as we saw on that live shot from Simone there, not seeing anything in the downtown of Hamilton like we did yesterday, so let's hope we don't have that fog this morning. So that's some good news. Weather-wise, today, tomorrow is going to be basically like yesterday. So if you're heading out the door, 6:01 in the morning, and thanks for spending part of your morning here with us here at Morning Live. Out the door in the Hamilton area, temperature's 13 degrees, so a couple of degrees above what it was yesterday. A few clouds and light winds, so nice start to the day. And again, it's going to be a nice day, sunny conditions coming our way. So that's the good news. Let's have a look in the roads and see if the good news continues on our drive in, well, down towards Niagara. Well, it's never usually busy this time of day, and continues that way today. And as I always like to mention, weather not a factor in the drive today, but the sun will be when it eventually comes up just around 7 o'clock. QEW Skyway moving along in good shape right now. Traffic's moving along well. West of Brant Street, seeing no problems. Up by the Ford plant, much the same. Dundas Street, the 403 building as it might this time of day. 403 Mavis Road, moving into the Mississauga area. Okay, up by Pearson Airport, traffic again starting to build up there, but moving along right now in good shape. 401 west of the 401, not seeing any slowdowns right there. And 400 and Shepherd Avenue coming into the city from the north area, Bradford and Barrie, that kind of thing, moving along in good shape. So it's a good start to the day. So no complaints out there at all as far as weather and traffic is concerned. Let's hope it stays that way. I'll be back a little bit later on to update everything for you.
Okay, thanks very much, Steve. The City of Hamilton's 2026 budget process begins this morning, and an initial report is already saying that there could be yet another tax increase. Simone Gavros joins us now from Hamilton City Hall with more on what to expect.
Well, Annette, the preliminary report is showing an 8.9% tax hike for next year. The report says this would go towards maintaining services, keeping up with inflation, and also investing in council priorities. There is a possibility they could get that number down to 6.6% if they pause things like infrastructure funding, but it would still be an increase nonetheless. Now, last year's budget saw a tax hike of 5.6%, and the year before that saw a bump of nearly 5.8%. Mayor Andrea Horvath released a statement yesterday ahead of the process starting, stressing that this is just the preliminary stages. She says, quote, "As mayor, I know Hamiltonians are facing real affordability challenges. Every decision in this budget affects daily lives, from housing and transit to roads and neighborhood services." So that process is going to be starting this morning, and the city is also inviting residents to share their priorities starting on Monday until October 10th. Rick, I'll send things back over to you.
Thank you, Simone. Hundreds of people are calling for changes to the justice system as a registered sex offender faces charges after a child was attacked in Welland.
We're going to ensure there's bail reform, and we're going to be sure that the perpetrator is labeled a dangerous offender.
25-year-old Daniel Senecal is facing several charges, including sexual interference and aggravated sexual assault. He appeared for a virtual bail hearing yesterday that was adjourned to October 15th. Welland Mayor Frank Campion says he is in talks with the different levels of government to try and spark change.
You know, I'm a father of 3 children, so it's something that I can't fathom. It just goes beyond belief. The sentencing should be severe, as I say. It should be long, and it should be, as I say, meaningful. Don't get probation. There is going to be no probation for sexual predators.
Niagara police say the girl, who is under 5, suffered serious injuries during the attack. She's in hospital in stable condition. There are many rumors about the current court proceedings. Niagara's police chief warns misinformation being shared online and urged the public to rely on verified sources.
An 18-month-old boy has died in Richmond Hill after an SUV smashed through the window of a daycare center. 6 other children and 3 staff members were injured. Nearly 100 children were in the building at the time. York Regional Police say a man in his 70s has been arrested. Police do not believe the crash was deliberate. A manhunt is underway for the killer of U.S. conservative activist Charlie Kirk. The 31-year-old was shot and killed while speaking at an outdoor event at Utah Valley University yesterday afternoon. The university will remain closed now until Monday. Kirk was the founder and CEO of the conservative youth organization called Turning Point USA. It's not clear if police have any leads on the gunman, but authorities do not believe he's still on campus. Utah police say the shooter wore dark clothing and fired from a rooftop some distance away. Kirk was a close ally of U.S. President Donald Trump.
I'm filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror.
That with you, we're doing our
Canadian politicians condemning political violence after the shooting death. Prime Minister Mark Carney called the shooting unjustifiable and a threat to democracy. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says free speech must be upheld and the attacker must be brought to justice. Well, today marks 24 years since the 9/11 terror attacks in the United States. At the World Trade Center site in New York, the names of nearly 3,000 victims will be read out loud this morning. Later today, a memorial service will honor the 184 people killed at the Pentagon in Virginia. And near Shanksville, Pennsylvania, a ceremony will honor the victims of United Airlines Flight 93. 4 planes were seized by hijackers in attacks carried out by Al-Qaeda. Thousands of people were injured or developed illnesses connected to the debris and the cleanup. 24 Canadians were killed that day. A heads up if you are taking GO Transit into Toronto this weekend. Rail service on the Lakeshore West Line will be temporarily modified on Saturday and Sunday. Both days there will be no GO train service between Oakville and Exhibition GO. Replacement GO buses will be used instead. Metrolink says critical track work is being done on the Lakeshore West Line to, quote, bring faster, more frequent service across the network.
Sportsline, another game, another blunder from the Blue Jays bullpen.
That ball's drilled high and deep to left field. Yainer Diaz gives the Astros a 3-2 lead in the ninth.
Yainer Diaz hit a solo home run off closer Jeff Hoffman in the 9th inning as the Houston Astros knocked off the Blue Jays 3-2. Toronto scored twice in the 8th inning to tie the game thanks to RBI singles by Andres Jimenez and Nathan Lucas. Hoffman, by the way, leads all relievers with 15 home runs allowed this season, but Jays manager John Schneider has no plans to make a change.
I think the difference between when he's really good and when he has a rough outing, that's kind of it. You know, it's kind of just the damage right there. So he's got good stuff. You know, still trust him. He's been throwing the ball really well, and it was one bad pitch tonight.
The Jays and Stros will play the rubber match of their 3-game series this afternoon. Game 3 of the Inter-County Baseball League Final is on tap tonight in Welland, where the Jackfish entertain the Barrie Baycats. Welland won Sunday's best-of-7 series opener, and the defending champion Baycats took Game 2 on Tuesday. First pitch at Welland Stadium tonight is 7:15 p.m. Stunning news out of Minnesota, where all-star forward Kirill Kaprizov has reportedly rejected the Wild's 8-year contract extension worth $128 million. At $16 million a season, the deal would have made the 28-year-old Russian the highest-paid player in the National Hockey League. The talented left-winger is eligible for free agency next summer. San Jose Sharks have signed 18-year-old Michael Misa of Oakville to a 3-year entry-level contract. Misa was drafted second overall this summer after putting up 62 goals and 134 points in 65 games last season with the OHL's Saginaw Spirit. He was the league's Rookie of the Year in 2023 and led Saginaw to its first Memorial Cup championship last year. Hamilton's Forge FC will try to extend their lead atop the table in the Canadian Premier League when they visit Valor FC in Winnipeg tonight. Forge has amassed 49 points through 22 matches and leads Atletico Ottawa by 3 points for top spot. Kickoff at Princess Auto Stadium is at 8 p.m. tonight. Hamilton Tiger Cats have caught a bit of a break as they look for their second straight win this week. Blue Bombers quarterback Zach Caleros is listed as out for tomorrow night's game in Hamilton. The 37-year-old left last week's game against the Rough Riders with a head injury, and so that means backup Chris Strevler will start against the Ticats.
My focus is always on us and, what's our game plan, what are we going to do, and how are we going to execute. But they've got a great defense. Like I said, they fly around, make plays, give you some different looks that we got to be ready for.
The 6-6 Blue Bombers have lost 2 games in a row, while the Ticats are 7-5 after stopping their 3-game slide last weekend in Montreal. The NFL will kick off Week 2 of the season tonight in Green Bay, where the Packers will host the Washington Commanders in a battle of 1-0 clubs. The Packers lead the all-time series 22-17-1, including winning their last 6 meetings at Lambeau Field. On the injury front, 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy is a long shot to play on Sunday against New Orleans, and he could miss multiple weeks because of a toe injury. Head coach Kyle Shanahan says Purdy could miss some time after getting hurt in their season-opening win in Seattle.
Okay, let's check your traffic right now. 6:11 on your Thursday. I have only received one idea that there might be some fog, and that's down around the Thorold area and 406. Otherwise, the fog that we had yesterday doesn't seem to be coming back or isn't back at this particular juncture. Let's have a look and see what's happening on the roads right now. Up in the Toronto area, things are fairly busy. Shepherd Avenue, but still moving along okay. Up by Pearson Airport, it looks like traffic is moving along at a good clip, although there is a fair amount there. Move back into the Burlington Skyway Bridge area. We're seeing traffic move along in great shape right now. So again, it will be building in the next little while, but again, for now, we're looking at things okay. QEW, the Ford plant, again, traffic's moving along in good shape. So as you head out the door this morning, should not have a problem if you're leaving in the next little while. 6:12. All right, let's have a look and see weather-wise for us what's going on. So the last couple of days have been more or less the same, and we've got, by the looks of things, another one today, and unless something changes, another one coming tomorrow. Warm air is still coming our way. However, by the time we get into the weekend, Sunday, and into next week, we'll have some cooler air coming our way from out west. But until then, we're enjoying some really nice conditions out there. And as far as rain is concerned, not looking for any today or tomorrow. Saturday, we could see a little shower move through the area here, and that's only a 30% chance of it, but there is, again, a chance of it as it moves through the area, but there doesn't seem to be a whole lot with that. Satellite radar shows that there's really nothing much out there other than a little bit of cloud moving through the area as we speak. Your almanac for today, sun will be up at 6:55, down at 7:37 p.m. Normal highs 22 degrees this time of year, and high pressure will dominate this time from the north, not from the east, but from the north over the next couple of days before low pressure comes in and kind of changes things as we get into the weekend. Today's high 24 degrees, feeling like 27. Basically yesterday, and tonight will be basically like it was overnight tonight. 11 degrees, some clouds, light winds, and mostly clear skies. And tomorrow, kind of a carbon copy, 27, and with a humidity and 24 with the temperature. UV high at 6 and light winds out there. We'll look at the extended forecast and check more of your traffic in a few minutes. That's it for now.
Okay, thanks very much. In just a couple of minutes, we're going to say good morning to Emily with a preview of what she has for us in Chit Chat. And in business news, Prime Minister Mark Carney is about to announce his government's list of major projects to grow Canada's economy. Coming up on 6:16, and Emily joins us with a preview of Chit Chat.
Hi, good morning. Well, coming up, Steven Spielberg celebrates Jaws' 50th anniversary with a brand new exhibit at Academy Museum. It looks very cool. And for the first time ever, David Letterman's full late night library will be available in one place if you're a fan. And later on this morning, movie theaters across North America are pulling out all stops for Dick Van Dyke's 100th birthday in December.
He is still pretty spry.
Yes, very much
It's
so.
pretty cool.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Thanks,
Okay,
Emily.
thanks very much. In business news this morning, in overseas trading, the Canadian dollar is down 11 basis points, just over 72 cents U.S. Gold has dropped nearly $18 an ounce. Crude oil is down 29 cents to $63.38 a barrel. Checking midday trading in Europe, markets are up in London and Paris, down in Frankfurt.
Over in Asia, markets were up in Tokyo, down in Hong Kong, and up in Shanghai. And on North American markets, the TSX was up 116 points, closing at another record high. The Dow lost 220 points. The Nasdaq gained 6 points.
First major projects are going to be announced today under Prime Minister Mark Carney's new strategy to reduce our economic reliance on the United States. During a Liberal caucus meeting in Edmonton, Carney says these transformative ventures will align with the interests of Indigenous people and with Canada's climate goals. Carney says he wants to turbocharge our economy through nation-building projects that will connect our regions, diversify our products, and build new markets. He says these projects will create hundreds of thousands of good jobs, from trade to technology.
Support staff at Ontario's publicly funded colleges are on strike after contract talks broke down before the midnight deadline. The 10,000 full-time support workers are seeking better wages, benefits, and job security. The Ontario Public Service Employees Union says nearly 10,000 college faculty and staff have been laid off or face losing their jobs amid hundreds of program cuts since last year. Colleges have been struggling financially with the tuition freeze, low provincial funding, and now a federal cap on international students. The College Employer Council says the union's proposals would cost more than $900 million, although the union disputes that figure. The employer says it has offered wage and benefit increases, along with improved severance and more.
A fight in Canada's telecom arena is playing out on the ice. TELUS is asking the CRTC to step in. It accuses Rogers of unfairly blocking its ads on Rogers-owned media platforms. Specifically, the complaint, which was filed in June and posted yesterday, claims that Rogers is using its control of NHL broadcast rights to interfere with TELUS's sponsorship of the Calgary Flames. TELUS says it's anti-competitive behavior. Rogers denies the accusations.
A Coca-Cola bottling facility in Hamilton is spending $8 million on improvements as it celebrates 100 years in the city.
I think it pretty much means that we're here to stay and we're here to be here for a long time. We want to be part of Hamilton for the next 100 years, and the investment that we just kind of placed into this really shows that we are here for the long term.
I can assure you, we'll get through this little hump with Trump, and we can be the wealthiest, richest country in the entire world.
The company says it remains strong despite tariffs on steel and aluminum, including its aluminum cans. The Barton Street East facility handles 350,000 cases of Coca-Cola and other beverages and employs 165 people.
Porter Airlines is canceling its flights from Hamilton to the Bahamas before they even get underway. In a statement, the airline tells CHCH News it's redeploying a plane that was supposed to fly from John C. Munro Airport to Nassau, to another market with greater demand. The flights were to start in December with two departures a week. The statement reads, passengers already booked for Nassau are being contacted and given the option to fly from Toronto Pearson or receive a refund. It says additional flight credit compensation is also being offered for this change. It adds Porter remains committed to serving a variety of destinations like Mexico and Florida from Hamilton.
Now we're going to take a quick break. Steve is going to return with your traffic update and your 7-day forecast. Good morning.
And welcome back to Morning Live, 6:23 on your Thursday morning. We've got another gorgeous day ahead of us, much like yesterday, and then we got another one tomorrow coming as well. So kind of every day's kind of the same, which is not too bad this time of year. Just checking your roads right now down towards the Garden City Skyway area in St. Catharines. Traffic's moving along in good shape and fairly light, much the same as by the time you get to Niagara Street. Up by the Burlington Skyway Bridge, and again moving in towards the Burlington area from Stony Creek. It's been a little bit on the slow side. It's moving along okay right now, but a few minutes ago it was kind of stop and go, but looking good now. Guelph Lines really got busy over the last 10 minutes or so, but looks like traffic's moving along pretty close to speed at this juncture. QEW Ford plant, things have stretched out just a little bit, which is all right. Up by Pearson Airport, traffic is building up again, and but still moving in good shape. We'll go back to the 403 and here Ontario Street, looking okay. Glen Erin Drive also looking all right. So the highways for the most part are building up, not seeing any major problems. And the good news is we're not seeing much in the way of fog reports out there, a little bit down around Thorold in the 406 area down towards Niagara Falls. But other than that, things are certainly a lot quieter than they were yesterday. So that's some good news. All right, let's check some of your temperatures outside right now. So if you're heading out the door, in these areas, Hamilton 13, Grimsby 14, along with Toronto, and Mississauga looking at 15 degrees currently. Your day planner looks like this. We're going to go from 14 degrees in the next couple of hours up to 24, and with a little bit of humidity, feeling like around 26 or 27, but mostly clear skies. Maybe an increased amount of some cloud into the afternoon, more or less like we've seen for the last couple of days, but in general terms, we're in good shape. Your evening commute, again, much like it was yesterday, mostly sunny skies, 24 degrees basically across the board. And looking ahead, the next couple of days are going to be almost carbon copies of each other. Of course, the Ticat game is Friday night, so that should be in good stead. Start to cloud up there. Saturday, still a 30% chance of showers, 70% chance of not having showers, so that's some good news. Sunday, cloudy. Temperature still staying up there pretty close to seasonal. Next week, cools off a little bit to start, but back up to seasonal with sunny skies as we go along. So again, not a bad 6 or 7 days ahead of us.
Thanks, Steve. Our team rivalry here at the desk is going to continue until at least Saturday morning.
And then we'll be friends again. That's when the United Way's plane pull is happening at John C. Munro Hamilton International Airport. So CHCH News has two teams competing to see who can pull a plane the fastest and who can raise the most money.
And this year it's Team Annette against Team Rick, and there's only a couple more days for us to raise money for the United Way. So if you'd like to help, you can donate to either of our teams by scanning the QR code on your screen.
Okay, so we just checked. So Team Annette is leading 5th overall out of all the teams, and Team Rick is...
We're 11th.
11th. But combined...
Yes, we're number one.
We would be number one.
Yes.
So... thanks to our viewers and our donors for contributing.
Absolutely. Stay with us. More to come after the break here on Morning Live.